We're going to be starting off right now with men's 800-meter freestyle, heat number 1. Start off this afternoon, we're going to feature 4 heats of the men's 800 before we switch over to the first heat of the women's mile. So we got a lane number 1 for Lakeside is Evan Witt. 2 for South Carolina, Charlie Green. 3 for Sierra Marlins, Charlie Franz. 4 for the Terrapins, Mason Wendler. 5 for New Wave is Aaron Davidson. 6 for Pikes Peak, Taylor Wagner. 7 for Scottsdale, David Vineker. And 8 for Zionsville, Malcolm Slater. Right now, looking very strong. He makes the turn, 4:03.68. Rams 30.9, 30.1, 31.1, 31.4, 31.4. .8 on that 50, 4:35.56. 31.88 again. 5:07.44. Franz has a nice acceleration under the flags into his turns. Right now, Wendler, Davidson, and Vinegar in a battle for second. 31.74 for Franz as he brings it down about a tenth of a second on that split. Coming up on the 600 mark. Charlie Franz, 31.7 as he comes to the 800 mark in the finish of this race. He turns to 7:47.18. David Vinegar over there in lane number 7. About a second lead. But right now, charging hard, Wendler and Davidson trying to catch him. 8:18.20 for Charlie Franz to take heat number 1. And Wendler will end up with second, 8:26.62. Heat 2.
Take your mark.
Vegas is Owen Carlson. All right, now Shaban leads the way, 58-26. Only swimmer in the field under 30 on the second 50. $129.56 still for Shaban. He pops up to 31.3. Nowicki out of Victor, 30.9 there. He takes over second, 130.2, but he's kept his split down under the 31 barrier. He was 30.7 on his second 50 and 30.9 on his third. Trying to keep the second, third, and the fourth 50s consistent is important within a distance swim as you set your pace and get into a rhythm. Right now, Shaban at 2:00.89. He was at 31.3. Nowicki second, 31.1. .31 flat on Nowicki to take the lead. 2:32.43. Very important in the distance swim to execute your race, not to panic if somebody is out a little bit ahead of you. As a faster split can have dramatic effect over the course of 2 to 3 50s on the outcome of the race. Nowicki, 3:03.71, 31.2 on that 50 as he heads into the 300. Schumann out there takes over second, 3:04.76 with a 31.3. Those are our two athletes down right now, popping in a 31 low. Hines is 31.7, Bedford 31.8. Max Mousy out in 31.9. $31.2 from Nowicki. 31.5 from Schumann. Hines brings it down a little bit, 31.6. As we build into the halfway point in this race. Nowicki comes in with an 8:24.34 into this swim. He's going to turn 4:06.23. Schumann, 31.9. Hines now dropping his pace, 31.4. Nowicki 4:37.64. Earlier this week, he placed 19th in the 400-meter individual medley, 4:26.98. He had come in with a seed time of 4:30, went at 4:26. $509.05. 31.4. Continues to outsplit the field. $31.6. Into the 600 mark, we have 200 to go. 6:12:37 for Nowicki, 31:65. He's now logging around 103 twos, 103 flats, somewhere in the neighborhood. If he's able to pick this up, we'll be looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of an 8:17, which would be good for a 7-second drop in the 800. 31.2, he does just that. He's picking it up, starting to feel the groove. 3 laps to go in this race, 150 left. Schumann now putting on a move as well, 31.2. 31.4 from Bedford, 31.5 from Hines. As these guys begin to accelerate, knowing they're coming into that final 100 in the bell lap. Nowicki gets the bell lap as he goes into the final 100 meters of this race. He turns at 31.2 again. Dropping that split down to, instead of a 103, a 102.5. He's more in the hunt now of an 8:16. $31.2 for Max Mousy out there in lane 7. 31.8 for Hines. 31.3 for Nowicki. All right, now looking at about an 8:16 on the finish. That'll be an 8-second drop from his best. He comes under the flags. He's going to take that win. 8:15.70. He came back really hard. 29.5 on that last 50. And Justin Nowicki now takes the top time of the morning. Heat 3.
Take your marks.
Zooming out of lane number 1 for Sierra Marlins is Quinn Jones. 2 from Mansfield Aquatic, Bryce Key. 3 from Fox Valley is Alex Parkinson. 4, Nova, Virginia, Charlie Mayer. 5 for Barrington Swim Club, Rylan Anselm. 6 for Bowl School, Dylan Brigman. 7 for Crow Canyon, Ethan Wang. And 8 for North Baltimore, Patrick Brennan. Brandon out first, 27-24. Through the turn, he leads 57-78. Brandon earlier this week did do the mile. He was 16:02.93. At the 800 mark, he was in 8:32. Brandon also competed in the 400-meter free. Placed 30th in the morning session, but he was a sub-4 minute at 3:59.46. Brandon right now 1:29.22, about 0.8 of a second ahead of the field, 31.4 on that 50. Only Brigman and Jones really outsplitting them by any margin at 31.1s. Through the 200, he still leads, 2:00.90. 31.6 as he continues to climb a little bit. Brigman, Wang, and Jones really outsplitting him there. Brigman earlier this week came in with the seed time in the mile at 16:04.97. He ended up 20th overall at 15:51. He was an 8:28 at the 800 split. Jones ended up 19th, just ahead of Brigman in the mile. He was 15:50.94. He had an 8:25 at the 800. Jones also swam the 400 free. He was 4:00.71, placing 43rd. And Brigman was a 4:03. Right now, Jones, Brigman, Wang, and Brannon, four swimmers moving in together through the 400 mark and trading spaces. Brigman leads it now, 4:08.17. He was 31.3 on that 50. Brigman, Wang, and Brannon able to help each other out over there in lanes 6, 7, and 8 as they work together. Whereas Jones out in clean water here by himself. Jones makes the transition there, goes 31.6, retakes the lead at 4:39.9. Lead changes again back to Brigman, 31.5 on that 50, 5:11.63. Brigman, 5:43.23. 31.6 again. Trying to make a little bit of a push out there in lane number 6 for the Bowl School Sharks. Knowing that he's coming into the 600 mark, they've got 4 laps left to battle. But Wang's not going to let him go, and neither is Jones. As Wang responds, 31.2 on that 50 to keep himself very close with Brigman. Brigman and Wang stroke for stroke out there in lane 6 and 7. Getting the bell lap with 100 to go. 7:17.19. Ethan Wang takes the lead now. Dylan Brigman, 7:17.59. Quinn Jones out there, 7:18.81. Ethan Wang's best time in this event came last year at the Speedo Junior National Championships at 8:26.18. Brigman's best is listed at 8:30.85, and that's from June of this year. Right now, both of these gentlemen are going to be way under their best times. As the sprint is on for the last 5 meters into the wall, it's going to go to Ethan Wang. He takes it 8:18.59. Brigman, 8:19.08. Second actually going to Brandon, 8:19.04 and 8:19.76 for Jones. Heat 3. Heat 4 in the water. Lane number 1 from Irvine Nova Aquatics is Max Stewart. 2 from Katie Aquatic is Connor Jones. 3 from Las Vegas, Max Carlson. 4 for Olympic Cascade, Matt Williamson. 5 for Lubbock is Jones Lambert. 6 from Team Pittsburgh, Matt Clark. 7 from Aquajets, Jari Zhu. And 8 from Pikes Peak is Gavin Shada. Right now, Justin Nowicki stands at the top time of 8:15.70. Franz at 8:18.20. Wang at 8:18.59. Out at the 100, 57.71, Jones Lambert. Taking about a body length or half a body length lead. Jones was 17th in the mile earlier this week, posting up a 15:46.16. Right now, Carlson and Sue not letting Jones get too far away. $2:31.39 at the turn. Carlson 2:32.30. Sue 2:32.31. Hanging out there over in lane number 1, Max Stewart from Nova, 2:32.97. Lambert 3:02.78. Carlson, Lambert, and Sue all splitting 31.3s on that 50, maintaining their place. Lambert was 17th again in the mile. Sue was 16th in the mile. He was a 15:45.66. At the turn, Lambert still leads, 4:05.49, 31.4. Zoo at 31.4, and Carlson at 31.4. Carlson was in the 400-meter free earlier this week. Preliminaries, he turned in a time of 3:58.38. That was good enough for 20th place. Nighttime, Carlson was 3:54.30 to win the C final, dropping 4 seconds from his prelim swim. Right now, Lambert continues to lead. Sue just off of Lambert's pace time, 31.3 to 31.4. Carlson dropping off a little bit more to 31.7. Carlson continues to stay at 31.7. 31.4 from Lambert. Sue drops down now to 31.3 as he tries to keep Lambert within striking distance as we move into the final 300 meters. Lambert's best time coming in here, 8:23.04. He was an 8:17 at the turn in the course of the mile. Sue in the mile was an 8:22. Lambert right now starting to stretch a little bit and give himself some breathing room as he heads into the final 200. He turns 6:10.56, 31.2. He's up about 3 to 4 tenths per 50, split-wise over Sue out in lane number 7. (31.2) again. Carlson 30.2. Carlson was 31.7, 31.7, 31.7, 32 flat, and now 30.2, dropped 1.8 seconds there. Again, we saw him have a big finish at the end of his 400-meter free on Wednesday night. And the bell lap comes in, Lambert in the lead, 7:12.91. 31.1. Carlson, 31 flat. He's about 2.1 seconds behind. (31.1) again for Lambert, 31.4 for Carlson, 30.9 for Sue. Sue making a run out there in lane number 7. I don't know if he's going to have the space to get it done. Lambert is going to come away with this one And he's going to touch 8:13.69. Sue in second, 8:15.42. Carlson in third, 8:17.49. Up next now, event 33, women's 1,500 meter free, heat 1.
Take your marks.
Swimming out of lane number 1 for Fishers Areas, Kate Mauser. 2 from Bellevue is Sammy Segerson. 4 for Scarlet Aquatics, Iris Kim. 5 from Phoenix is Skylar Knowlton. 6 from Nation's Capital, Lauren Tucker. 7 from Aquajets, Avery Lutke. 5:04s as these athletes continue to pace each other. .538s for Lukey and Tucker. By comparison, Avery Lukey was your fastest 800 freestyler earlier this week. She was an 8:58. Mouser was 8:59. Tucker was a 9:04. When they were pacing for that swim, midway through the race, they were averaging around 33.7 to 33.9s on their 50s. So right now, being in the neighborhood of 34 low, 34 mid, is a pretty good stage at this race. Tucker continues to lead, 2:56 or 7:56.20. Lukey 7:56.36. About a second behind is Mouser out in lane 1. Knowlton falling off a little bit. 8:00 at the 700 mark. As Mouser, Tucker, and Lukey continue to hold 34s. Lauren Tucker out of Nation's Capital in her individual 800 earlier this week was a 9:04. She's going to turn 9:05.25, just less than a second from her 800 swim on Monday. To the feet as well. 34.8, 34.6 for Lukey, 34.9 for Mouser. As these athletes continue to pace very consistently. Avery Lutke takes over the lead, 10-14-73. 34-5. Tucker's up above 35 for the first time. Coming into the 1,000 mark. Avery Lutke takes first, slight advantage, 0.8 of a second. That's her biggest one so far. She turns at 11:23. Tucker at 11:24. And 11:25 for Mouser. Right now, both Tucker and Lutke were out 5:38 at the 500 mark. Second 500 for Lutke, 5:45. For Tucker was 5:46. Mouser out in 5:39. Her second 500, 5:46. So about a 7-second differential in their 500s right now between first and second. As Avery Lutke now begins to break away a little bit, outsplitting Tucker about 0.9 of a second. Mouser still down there in the 34.8, about 1.7 seconds back from Lutke. (34.6), 13:42. Mouser comes in with a seed time of 8:58 with their 800 time. Tucker and Lutke come in with, Lutke comes in with a yard time of 16:39. Tucker's best time is 17:18. Payson still at 34.7. Mouser at 34.9. Mouser's best time coming in long course, 18:02. These two are on pace to be in the low 17-minute marks. Mouser makes a move, 34-2 right there as she decides to accelerate and change gears. Heading into the 1,350 mark. Can she be in the ballpark for Mouser looking to be around 17:10. Luque hopefully to be around 17:07. That'd be an 11-second. That'd be about a 15-second drop for Luque from her best time. Almost 50 seconds for Mouser from her best. Avery Luque is going to come away with the win on the first heat here for the Aqua Jets. Best time ever in the long course mile coming in, 17:22. She's going to erase that and touch in 17:08.71. Mouser at 17:10.96. Her best before that, 18:02. That's quite a drop. Right now, turning our attention back to the men's 800 free, heat 5.
Take your marks.
Heat number 5 right now with the men's 800-meter freestyle, swimming out of lane number 1 for Pacific Swim, Julian Rousseau. 2 from Long Island, Will Siegel. 3 from Tsunami is Whitaker Stewart. 4 for New Wave, Sam Marsteiner. 5 for Tsunami is Derek Long. 6 for Scarlet, Adam Kiss. 7 for Swim Mac, Santi Alzate. And 8 for Multnomah Athletica Club, Thomas Olson. Right now, Lambert leads the way, 8:13.69. Sue, 8:15.42. Nowicki at 8:15.70 for your top 3 right now through the first 4 heats. These swimmers all come in with seed times between 8:20 to 8:22. Right now, Marsteiner and Long out together at 58.24. Marsteiner out, 159.94. Long is second, 2:00.32. The only two in that heat are under 31. Marsteiner and Long at 30.9s. Marsteiner earlier this week, he was at 15:41 in the mile, placing 13th. In the 400 free earlier this week, Marsteiner was a 3:58.54. Long was a 4:04 in the preliminary session. Stewart was a 4:03. Right now, 4:05.52, 4:05.59 for Marsteiner and Long as they go toe-to-toe through the 400. Right now, Siegel and Stewart working together. Rousseau just slightly off the pace. (31.7, 31.8) as Long and Marsteiner continue to battle. 31.4, 31.5 for Siegel and Stewart there. Keep an eye on Alzate out there in lane number 7. He's been clocking it at 31.4, 31.3, outsplitting the field by about 2 to 3 tenths. That may add up as time goes on. 32 flat from Marsteiner, 31.8. Rousseau out of lane 1, posting up the fastest time in that 50 split, 31.5, as we head into the final 250 here as they approach the turn. Long trying to make a move now, 31.6, 540.9. Siegel also 31.5. Rousseau at a 31.3. Alzate at 31.4. They are outsplitting Marsteiner. Siegel from Lyack able to see them going into this turn. 31.6, 31.4 from Rousseau and 31.5 from Alzate. Right now they're catching our leaders. Siegel beginning to pass Marsteiner. And Rousseau beginning to pop a little bit out there in lane number 1 as his stroke rate picks up. And the kick as we head into the final 150. 31.3 out there for Rousseau, 31.4 for Alzate. Siegel 31.6. as Long and Marsteiner are still above the 32 barrier. We're going to come up to the bell lap for our final 100 sprint for these gentlemen as they go into the turn. We're going to find out who has something a little bit left in the tank. Will Siegel of Lyack takes over the lead, 7:16.70. Rousseau at 7:17.1, only 4/10 behind him, but outsplitting him on that 50 by 3/10. Alzate out there in 7. I'm not sure how many folks are going to be able to see him on this last 50 sprint. And Alzate takes over the lead at 30.7 on that 50. Rousseau and Siegel watching each other as Alzate slips on the outside by 1/10 of a second. Let's see who has the final sprint to come home. Right now, Rousseau and Alzate, lanes 1 and 7, neck and neck under the flags. It's gonna go to Rousseau, 8:17.65. 17:88 for Alzate. And 18:53 for Long. Women's 1500 Heat 2.
Take your mark.
Heat number 2 for the women's mile. Swimming on lane number 1 from Highlands Ranch is Mila Nikanarov. 2 from Nova, Virginia, Amanda Barnard. 3 from Flatiron, Morgan Katie. 4 for Long Island is Lily Gormson. 5 from the swim team, Sydney Wilson. 6 from Emmy Lyons, Ava Supton. 7 from Mansfield, Elise Clift. And 8 from Long Island is Sarah Larson. $103.27 out for Clift. Right now, Nikanarov, Gormson, and Clift through together. 2:10s for all three. Larson hanging out there right behind at 2:11.39. Nikanarov takes over the lead, 2:44.40. Clift at 2:44.50. Ormston at 2:44.83. Through the 400 mark, Nikanarov continues to lead, 425.54. Clifton, 425.64. Gormson, 426.65. Earlier this week, Nikanarov was 419 flat in the preliminaries of the 400 free and a 416 flat at the finals. She did not swim the mile. She did not swim the 800, but Gormson and Clift did. Gormson was an 850, Clift was an 853. Nikanarov right now and Clift separating themselves a little bit from the pack. Gormson slightly behind with Supfin out there. Supfin's been moving up steadily. She's splitting 33.7. Outsplitting the field on the last few 50s. Sutphin was a 420. In the 400-meter free earlier this week. And she was an 850, placing 15th, right behind Gormson in the 800. Nikanarov now beginning to give herself a little bit of space from Gormson and Clift, as Clift has jumped up to more of a 34 mid split. Gormson's down at 34.0 as well as Nikanarov. But Supfin still continues to log 33.7. Ava Sutphin working her way up slowly in lane number 6. Nikanarov, 7:15.36. 34.0. She's about a 2-second lead right now over Clift, Sutphin, and Gormson as they split 34.3, 34.5. Sutphin, though, still 33.8. Outsplitting Nikanarov by about 0.2 to 1/10 per 50. And about 2 seconds behind. Holding this pace over the next 10 laps, Sutphin would be up closer to Nikanarov. Except Nikanarov now dropped her pace, 33.5 on that 50. $33.9 for Sutphin. Outsplitting Clift by about a second there. Pacing even with Gormson as Gormson responds. Brings down her pace from 34.3 to 33.8 and 33.9 on the last two 50s. 33.7 for Nikanarov, 34 flat for Gormson, 33.9 from Sutphin. 8:56.88 at the 800 mark for Nikanarov. 8:59 for Sutphin and Gormson. 33-6 for Nikanarov, still maintaining the lead. 10:04.15. Gormson out splitting her there for the first time. 33-51. Sutphin, 33-8. 33-5 for Nikanarov, 33-8 for Gormson. These swimmers are staying very consistent through this race. We are coming up on the 1,000 mark. 2/3 of the way through this 1,500 meter free. (11:11) for Nikanarov. 11:14 for Gormson, and 11:15 for Sutphin. Nikanarov so far was 5:33, 5:38 for her 500s. Gormson, 5:35, 5:39, and Sutphin, 5:35, 5:40. Nikanarov has the best recorded time from last summer at 17:12.93. Gormson's been 17:10, and Sutphin's been 17:11. Right now, Nikanarov on for pacing somewhere around a 16:50, sub 17-minute swim, which could be about a 20-second improvement on her best time. 13:27 with 300 meters to go. 33.87. Gormson 34 flat. Sutphin 34.2. Nikanarov has led this entire race from start to this point so far. 33.6, no signs of her letting up. 14:00.64, 33.6 again. Only swimmer right now in the field logging under the 34 barrier on her 50 splits. .200 meters to go. She's going to make the turn. 14:34.25. If Nikanarov hit 34s flats for the next 450s, she'd still be a 16:50. Right now, she's on track to be in the 16:40s. Olympic trials cut 16:45.69. 33.5 on that 50. 15:07. Nicanaro is going to have to pour it on. As she gets the bell lap. 16:41.67. She's going to have to bring it home in a 1:04 flat on this last 100. Let's see if we can get her home. This is going to be tight. She's going to have to really accelerate. We need her to drop a 32 on this split. She needs to get back on this last lap. 50 meters to go. She turns 16:15.23. Need a 30.4 last 50. That might be a tall order at the end of a mile, but no matter what, this is a big swim as she comes into the wall. You got to make the touch. 16:47.45 to take the win. That is good for a 25-second drop from her best time. And now the top time of the morning. Or the afternoon. Second place goes to Gormson, 16:55.01. Sutphin at 16:56. Gormson dropping 15 seconds from her previous best. And Sutphin doing the same. Men's 800 free, heat 6. So we're in heat number 6 for the men now. Out of lane number 1 from Ridgefield Aquatic, Jack Clancy. 2 from Tsunami, Ellis Krisky. 3 from Golden Medal, Trey Hesser. 4 from New Wave, Matthew Marsteiner. 5 from Rockville Montgomery, Cooper Zacharcheny. 6 from Greater Philadelphia, Michael McCarthy. 7 from Crow Canyons, Devin Caples. And 8 from Bluefish, Alex Parent. Right now, Marsteiner out there in the lead, 30.3 on that 50. Hesser, 30.4, 128.3 to 128.8. 159.0, 159.3 at the 200. Hesser now out-splitting Marsteiner. Right now, these two swimming away from the field. 30.9, 30.9. Earlier this week, Marsteiner was 13th in the mile, 15:41. Immediately following Marsteiner was Hesser at 14th in 15:43. In the 400, Hesser beat out Marsteiner at 3:54, and Marsteiner's 3:55. 30.6 right now from Hesser, 3:00.94. Hesser representing gold medal swim club out of Arizona. Head coach Mike Chasson. (30.4, 30.9). Trading places as they go through. (8:09.69), that trials cut. Marsteiner now trying to accelerate into the wall. Takes that left-handed breath into the turn and slows him down a little bit. 31.1. 31.0, 4:03.21, 4:03.36. They just need to be able to get home in a 4:06 if they want a shot at that trials cut. (30.8, 31.2, 4:34.0. 4:34.56, half a second behind right now for Hesser. (31.0, 31.4). 300 left to go. He was 3:04 from Marsteiner on the way home and a 3:03 from Hesser. (6:07.73), 200 meters left to go. Hesser responding right now, 31 flat. Outsplitting Marsteiner by half a second there. You got to be able to come home in a 2:01. We need some 30 points right in here. 30.7, 30.8. Need to be able to bring it back in a 1:30. If we can have two 30-point lows and a 29, you can be in the ballpark. These two fighting and battling every step of the way. 30.9, 31.0. Marsteiner's got to get home in a 1:00. Hesser's got to get home in a 59. If they make a move, it could happen. These guys have been splitting 31 or 30 points. If they've got some juice in the tank, Hesser right now beginning to move. He's up the tempo. Mark Steiner as well. They use each other. Hesser takes control, 29.6 on that 50. Mark Steiner, 30.7. He's got to get home at 29. Hesser fighting now to get back on this. Mark Steiner as well, 8:09.69 is the time to beat. We need a 29.6 again out of Hesser. He's going to make the touch. 8:08.07, new trials cut. 8:09.67 for Mark Steiner. Both of them under the standard with a great last 100. Hesser for gold medal swim club. Again, for head coach Michael Chasson, used to be called Vidal Chassoon. If you don't look good, he don't look good. Heat 3, women's 1500.
Take your marks.
Swimming out of lane number 1 from Carmel is Lexi Ward. 2 from Nova, Virginia, Claire Stuhlmacher. 3 from Phoenix is Danielle Gleason. 4 from Greater Philadelphia is Kylie McMurray. 5 from Crow Canyons, Bailey Hartman. 6 from Orange Regional, Chloe Teeger. 7 from Multnomah Athletic Club, Sydney Wilson. And 8 from Bowles is Neela Klein. So with those two swims, 8:07 and 8:08, that catapults Hesser and Mark Steiner into the top 2 positions so far, with only 2 heats remaining in the men's 800 free. This is the final heat of the women this morning, or this afternoon, before we get to our final heat that will be swimming with finals. Right now, Hartman 1:02.7 on the way out, 1:02.9 for McMurray, 1:02.8 for Gleason. Hartman was 11th in the 800 earlier this week, 8:48.59. She was at 4:24.60, 4:23.99 on her splits. Negative splitting that race. Kylie McMurray was an 8:55.39. Danielle Gleason was an 8:51.45. And Lexi Ward was an 8:48.10. Just beating Hartman out by 1 spot. As these 4 women are your leaders right now. When Ward and Hartman were hitting 8:48s on their 800s, they're averaging 33.0 to 33.3s for the most part through the entire race. Right now, we're right in that ballpark. 33.1 for McMurray, 33.4s for Gleason and Hartman, 33.5 for Ward. When it came down to the 400, Lexi Ward was a 4:20. Kylie McMurray was a 4:21. Gleason was a 4:22. Hartman was your second place finisher. She was a 4:10.59. She had that great battle with Kevin Gormson out of Long Island Aquatic Club. McMurray, 4:23.18. .423.18 at the 400 for McMurray. She was 4:21.35 at the final. She was 4:20.83, leading out here on the 1500. And only 2.2 seconds ahead of her time for the 400 at the start of the mile. Very aggressive swim. If she's able to maintain this. Right now, she comes in with a seed time, 16:55. Hartman with 16:56. Gleason, 16:56. Ward in with a 17:09. At the 500 mark, 5:30. 5:31 for Gleason, 5:31 for Hartman. And 5:33 for Ward. By comparison, when Nikonarov went 16:47 to lead off heat number 7, she was out in a 5:33. Split 5:38 and then 5:36. Gormson and Clift earlier were 5:35s, and they were 16:55, 16:56. So right now, these women are pacing a little bit faster than the leaders from heat number 7, which puts them well under their best times and hopefully in hunt of that Olympic trials cut. So we've got to be able to maintain the 33s or 34 O's as best as possible. Right now, Hartman takes over the lead at 33.9 with a 6:38.80. .33.8 from Hartman. 33.6 from Gleason. 34.3 from McMurray and 34.4 from Ward. Coming up to the 700 mark. .746.65 for Bailey Hartman, 33.9 on that 50. Gleason, 747, 33.9. 34.2 for McMurray, 34.5 for Ward. As Hartman continues to hold the sub 34. Coming up towards the 800 mark, Hartman individually was 8:48.59. Keep an eye on that time. That's what her finish was in the 800-meter free earlier this week. She makes the turn, 8:54.6, so about a 6-second gap right now between her individual 400 and her individual 800 and her split on the way out in the mile, which is good. 8:55 for Gleason on the way out, 33.9 on that 50 she maintains. Right now, Hartman, Gleason, and McMurray running 1, 2, 3. If you take a look at their 750-meter split, right, which is half of their 1,500, Hartman was 8:20, McMurray and Gleason were 8:21. Double that, you're getting a 16:40 and a 16:42. Again, if they're able to even split this swim, or slightly positive split, you are looking in the ballpark of racing and chasing down that Olympic trial cut of 16:45.69. $33.9 again for Gleason, $34.0 from Hartman. They continue to main pace. $33.7 now for Gleason on that 50 as she begins to make a move. We'll see if Hartman is able to respond here if she sees her. As she's breathing to her left and bring that 34.2 down. We are heading into the 1,000 split. Time to keep an eye on. Nikanarov was 11:11 at the 1,000 on her way to the 16:47. At the turn, they are 11:11. Now they are slightly ahead of Nikanarov at the 500, so their second 500 split right now is a 5:40. Whereas Nikanarov was a 5:38. Nikanarov on the last 500 was 5:36, so these two have a lot of work to be able to kick it up and begin to move. Gleason with a pretty aggressive turn right there. Let's see if she's able to start making a shift in gears as we build into this last 400 meters. Gleason taking on right now is 12:19, 34.0. .400 meters left. .34.0, 34.4, just waiting for someone to make a move and start to push the pace. .300 meters remain. 34.1, 34.4. Gleason's got to get home in a 3:18 if she wants a shot at that 16:45. But with 34 ones, that puts her around a 3:24. So there's going to have to be a significant drop. Sometimes in the mile, when you get locked into a pace, it's tough to shift gears. Right now, Chloe Teager over the last several 50s has been dropping some 33.7s to 33.9s. 134 flat in there in the mix. But she's been making a move on the back 500. She comes in with the seed time 17:00:23. 33.7 now again for Gleason as she begins to put on a little bit of speed here. We head into the final 125 meters of this race. Teager out there in lane number 6, running down Hartman and McMurray, chopping away 0.6 of 50. 33.7 for Gleason. 16:43, 15:43.1 at the turn. 33.4 from Chloe Teager on that, as she is trying to make a run at these two in lanes 4 and 5. No matter what, Gleason will be a sub 16:50. McMurray and Hartman will be under their best time of 16:55 and 16:56. And Chloe Teager is going to be under 17 minutes for the first time. As they come in, Gleason will take it 16:48. 85. 16:52 for McMurray, 16:52.49 for Hartman, and 16:53 for Chloe Teager. Teager dropping 7 seconds off her best out of lane number 6. That means Milan Nikanarov is still our leader at 16:47.45 out of heat number 7. Last heat, heat 7 of the men's 800 free. Swimming out of lane 1 for Texas Ford Aquatics is Lucas Fecoder, 2 from SwimMac, Freddie Klein, 3 from Scarlet Aquatics, Sedaden, 4 from Livermore Aqua Cowboys, Jack Hendrick, 5 from Texas Gold, Bucky Geddes, 6 from Crimson, William Mulgrew, 7 from Razorbacks is Connor Boatwright, and 8 from Lakeside is Max Hatcher. Right now on the board, your summary of through the last heat there of the women's 1,500 meter free. These show you our current leaders through 8th place. Right, prior to our final heat, Nikanarov leads it, 16:47. Gleason, 16:48. McMurray, 16:52. So that'll be the target times for the championship final tonight for the women to try to get on the podium for the 1,500 meter freestyle. Right now, Bucky Geddes leading the way, 57.7 through the 100 mark. Current top times in this event, 8:08, or 8:07 and 8:08, and then 8:13, 8:15, 8:15. We have this heat and then the championship final a little bit later on tonight. Geddes still leading, 1:59.22. He comes in with a seed time of 8:13.76. Geddes was a 15:37.44 in the mile earlier this week, placing 10th. He made his Olympic trial cut in that event. He was 8:16 at the 800 mark during the course of that race. Right now, Freddie Klein takes over from SwimMac. Freddie Klein was a 16:00 in his mile. He was 8:20 at the 800. He was 4:04 in the 400 meter free. And right now, looking very strong, 3:00.78. Right now, Geddes pops up above the 31-1 split there. Klein stays under, 30.9. 30.8 from Mulgrew, 30.9 from Boatwright. As they are approaching the 400 meter mark. Right now, Freddie Klein leads, 4:02.90, 31.16. Mulgrew out there, 30.9. He was the fastest 50 split on that lap. Geddes still 31.0. Klein needs to get home in a 4:07. 30.8 on that split. He responds. Vekoter with them for 34.01, 3/10 behind, 30.8. Those are your two athletes under the 31 barrier. That's where we need to be. Again, 8:09.69, that's your target. Coming in to the 500 mark. 5:04.61, 30.8 from Klein. I think Coach Chuck Batchelor's getting a little bit excited about this one. We have 300 meters to go. Geddes back down, 30.8. Mulgrew, 30.9. $31.0 from Klein, 5:35.68. We saw earlier Hess and Marsteiner. They were at 7:09, 7:10 at the 700 mark and came back under a minute to set their trials cut. So we're looking in the ballpark right now. Klein still under 6:07.0, 6:08 from the Coder, 6:07 from Geddes as he's beginning to build. And Mulgrew 6:07.5. Geddes there, the fastest split, 30.6. Klein beginning to feel it. He is beginning to accelerate. He drops it down 31.0. Mulgrew 30.7. Geddes 31.1. We need to be in the neighborhood of 7:08, 7:09 at the 700 mark to give us a shot. Right now, 3 athletes in that ballpark. Klein, Geddes, and Mulgrew. They've got to use each other on this last 100. 7:08.96 from Klein, 7:08.75 from Mulgrew. Geddes 7:09.18. Let's get them home. They've got to get home in a minute on this last 100. They're splitting like they can. Mulgrew really accelerating out there in lane number 6. He turns 30 flat, 31.0 from Klein, 31.0 from Geddes. They're going to have to get back in 29. Mid, they're going to have to get the kick going. Mulgrew, 7:38. He looks in pretty good shape. 8:09.69. That's your cut time. Book your ticket to Indianapolis. It's going to go down. 8:07.97. Olympic trial cut for Mulgrew, 8:09, or for Geddes, 8:09.33. Mulgrew, 8:07.97. Geddes, 8:09.33. That'll finish up our distance session. Right now, your top swimmers right there. 8:07.97 from Mulgrew leads it. 8:08 from Hesser. Boatwright right now in 8th place with an 8:14.04. Chances are sub 8:10 will be in the ballpark for a place on the podium. Pool's open for warm-up. We will see you back here in a little while for our final session on day number 5 of this Speedo Junior National Championships. Had some exciting races during the distance swimming. Looking forward to seeing what the championship final holds in store. 200 individual medleys, 50 freestyles. Women's mile, men's 800 free. And then finishing it off with our 4x100 medley relay. See you back here in about an hour.